Hello, I just set the stopwatch to make sure that I speak 10 minutes. You can also try to control me at any moment. So, reflecting about my EVS, I think I'm not going to talk about my EVS. I'm going to talk about volunteering, but as a more general concept. But first, I'm gonna talk to you about my name. So my name is Vicente. Now, somebody know here the etymology of Vicente? Really, nobody. That's so sad, guys. What they're teaching you in university? Tani?
Winner.
Yeah, that's it. My name is Winner. Now, that's a very important thing. It's a very important thing because all my life I knew my name means winner, but I just was tired to watch my people lose and lose and lose. And in every single presentation, any conference, any seminar I go, I always see Roma such a big losers. I mean, big losers. You know, it's like the line of humanity is here, but we are so much under the bottom. Practically, anybody can wake up one day and to proclaim that he will make the biggest Roma alliance, whatever, and it can be from China or it can be from Japan. That will be okay because there will be no Roma voice to be here, nothing to be afraid of. Let me tell you about how I started volunteering. Back in the time, 6 years ago, when I was 140 kilos, a series of accidents brought me to a meeting in Cordoba. That meeting was organized by an organization which name is Terlipe International Roma Youth Network that I have been volunteering for the last 5 years. Now, when I arrived, I was very strange to the whole concept because I didn't understand these people. These people were so far from my reality. They were people from other countries. Like in my town where I came from, we hardly talk with no Roma people. So I knew what was to be powerless. I knew what was to have no voice. And I was very afraid all the time to say what I was thinking because I was thinking, these guys, they are the powerful ones. So if I say that I don't agree with nothing, they're going to put me out and they're going to fight another Roma. And I want to have my sandwich. Or I want to be able to get out of my home. So my first days, my first weeks were in terror. And I know this is the reality of a lot of Roma in the movement. However, it happens by a series of total accidents. You know, somebody broke their leg, somebody grandpa died, some things like this happen, and I end up in Israel. Now, once I was in Israel, I become a Roma activist from one second to the other. Nobody explained me nothing in the process. But then I just realized that there was such a void of power in the field. And then I had the courage to came out as a Romani person who never went to university, but as a Romani person who used to sell socks in the market. And even till today, after 5 years being quite successful in many different things, not sure if I'm going to talk about, when people get to a point in a conversation, they will always refer, directly or indirectly, yes, you know what, you just a seller of socks. You know, I can feel it. When I enter in a room, people laugh at my jokes, people love the thing that I'm saying, but then they will go and they will say, oh, but you know, you don't have a university degree, you know, you didn't pass the proof. You're not one of the cool persons like us, you know, we are in the establishment, we are in the power. You're not part of the club. But I'm so thankful to have faced these kind of challenges during my volunteering time. Because yes, I did an EVS in Pierre Mensa, but during the last 6 years of my volunteer life, I hardly have received any single cent for all my activity, which I'm very, very happy and very, very proud because I didn't receive money, but I received a lot of things and I received a lot of experience. And when I imagine volunteering as an holistic process, it's a process of double empowerment. Because as a Romani person, you're getting a concept of the things that you're able to do. But as a non-Romani person working with Romani people, you can get moral empowerment. Moral empowerment, which is to recognize your privilege, which is to take the crown that the structural discrimination has put over your head and to put it on the feet of the oppressed. Working together, I mean, this organization stands for Roma and non-Roma dialogue. And that's a complicated thing. That's a very complicated thing. And we are constantly on the line, but not just in this organization, in the whole movement. Because if there is something that called the attention in the whole Roma movement, is the lack of Roma participation. It's scandalous. It is scandalous. And it is a necessary process that all of us reflect, again, on the basis of volunteering. What we want to do, what we want to achieve. It is so absurd to sit on a table and to pretend. Yes, we're working with Roma like we're working with any other topic. Sorry, that's not any other topic. This is probably the biggest human rights emergency in modern day Europe. When we're talking here, where we are going out of the streets, there is people in the countryside of Hungary or Slovakia or Czech Republic who are struggling for their life. And urgency is total. And then I understand volunteering. But volunteering for me is not going to other countries to experiment an amazing sexual life, different food or different whatever, and the weather or whatever. This is not interesting for me. And I think this is not interesting for a lot of Roma. And I think if we are not able to reach a lot of young Romans to engage, it's because we are not facing them with the need, with the opportunity to change their reality, their daily surroundings, to offer them power. Power is something more than traveling. Power is to have a voice. When I started to work as volunteer, I was traveling. Now I have a voice. Now I talk and people listen to me. And this is volunteering too. This is how my life went. Very often I come back to my community and then I realize how I have gained so much privilege. Then I reflect, because I'm always criticizing a lot of people in the field by saying, oh, they don't know what is Roma reality. They don't know how much our people is struggling. People is talking that they can come from the middle of the nowhere, just put a flag on some place and they have a Roma organization, voila. But then I examine myself and my own identity, and then I analyze how much privilege I have. Very recently I was going to my hometown, and I entered in a bar, and then I asked to the waiter, I wanted an Earl Grey tea. Then the 20 Roma who were there were looking at me like, are you crazy? Are you coming to the poorest neighborhood in Valencia to ask for an Earl Grey tea? We don't know what is an Earl Grey tea. That was like a slash bringing me back to my reality. This is my reality. Then I was talking to people, what are you doing? An uncle of mine was telling me, I'm doing shoes, 10 cents per pair. And we put on them made in China, we send them to the United States, and we gain maybe 5 or 10 euros a day. This is what some of my relatives were telling me. Other people were telling me, we have two opportunities here. Or you go in the garbage to looking for something, or you make a small crime. So then in the weekend I can buy a Coca-Cola can to my children. That's crazy. That's crazy, because I'm 6 years in the movement and I see how the movement advanced, but our situation is getting so much worse. Now, in 21st century modern day crisis, you can see that the gap between poor and rich is bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can also feel this in Roma mobilization, Roma civil society, Roma participation, because less and less Roma have the opportunity to access to power in any way. Now, when I think in the past, I was so lucky, because I meet people who invested in me. Now that's so rare. That's so rare. I think it was in part a series of accidents. Somehow I also hijacked the whole system of oppression. I hijacked it. How I hijacked it? Because I was Roma and I was very white. This also you can see in the Roma movement, lots of very white Roma. You can see that if you can pass as non-Roma, you have double success that if you pass just as a Romani person. So partly I hijacked it, partly I have a lot of accidents, but partly I meet people, Roma and non-Roma as well, who were able to invest with their time. People who was genuine, people who was authentic. And that was precious. And this is the thing which is really important in volunteering. EBS is a wonderful tool. Yeah, that is true. But that's not enough. No, we need biblical characters. We need biblical characters. We need prophets, we need pastors, we need masters, we need people which is able to make miracles, because our mission is absolutely impossible. And when I read Bible, or when I read Quran, or when I study old story, or when I read comic books, when I go to my big references, my narratives, I see such an ambition, I see such a power. St. Paul said once, nobody will steal my glory, because my glory is to work for no price. And this is the spirit of voluntary. To work your life for a cause. Like in the civil rights struggle, not everybody was giving 10 hours speeches. I'm writing books about it, but there was people cooking, there was people working, there was people living on a daily basis, breathing the struggle. This is voluntary. What Pirena Mensa should do, what I should do as part of Pirena Mensa, and I put myself in the pot, which I'm not sure if I'm in or I'm out. I'm not in paper, I'm something like a non-formal advisor, but what we should do all as a movement, having conscience, is to be able to understand which is our position and where are we. We are walking the line, and the line is so fine. The line is so fine. You can do to Roma, reflect on that, you can do to Roma anything you want, and there will be nobody who will do to you nothing. There will be no consequences. So you find yourself as a Roma in the movement with privilege, or as a non-Roma, I don't care. You find yourself with such a privilege to be the voice of 2 million persons who cannot communicate nothing, who are resisting, who are surviving, but who cannot communicate nothing. And I know that because I used to be like that. Back in the time when I was thinking a lot about why I was a loser and having a name like Vicente that means winner, my dream it was to work in McDonald's. That was my dream, because to work in McDonald's, it means I will get a job, I will get a life, I will be able to marry. And me and a lot of the Roma who started in this Roma movement, we started just for getting a job. We didn't want to change the world. When we started back in Spain, we thought maybe if we go to all these strange conferences, we will get some very cheap job, and then we can make something with our life. This is how we started. Nobody wanted to save the world back then. And people was abandoning because they thought jobs, nobody get a job. They were the Roma face. They went to some place, somebody give them a sandwich, make a pizza, and then they were going home. Their vision, their opinion, nobody cared. Nobody cared. But I was Patians, and I was very strange. So I was so strange that people was not able to classify me. So then somehow I hit check the structural discrimination system, and I opened all the doors, and I entered like, wow, I'm here. So what now? So now what I want to do is to use my privilege and to use the place in which I am to give voice to the ones like me that were dreaming to have a job, dreaming to have a house, dreaming to have a normal life, dreaming to not face violence on a daily basis. Oh, I was so lucky. I am so lucky. Yes, I'm a winner. Yes, I'm Vicente. I'm a winner. That's true. A series of accidents brought me here in front of you to give you a message. And if you can take something today from what I'm going to tell you is, use your privilege wisely. A lot of you will say, oh, but I'm not a Roma representative. I'm sorry you are. I'm sorry you are. May you say, no, but I'm not a Roma representative because my organization is working or my organization is that. But sorry, that's not true, because there is 12 million persons there who have no voice. And you are standing in the same field and in the same place that somebody could use to claim for something. Now, I'm not telling you what you're doing is wrong. I'm happy to work with you. What I'm telling you is use wisely your privilege and your power. You have a responsibility. Yeah? An exclusion, and I'm finishing soon. An exclusion is not just to send people to concentration camps. Exclusion is not just to throw cocktail Molotov. Exclusion is also, sorry, my Spanish is trying to resurrect in my body. Exclusion is also to create a whole world, to create a whole conversation about people without the people. Oh, that's so wrong. That's so wrong. And we are doing fine, and we are doing good. I'll tell you how we are doing. I'll tell you how I do many times. I do it like this. Okay, I'm gonna walk, and Roma will join. And when Roma will join, that will be great. But now I need to work. I cannot wait my people, because my people is in such horrible condition that by the time they will organize, there will be no opportunity to take. And a lot of time in the movement, people which is working is like, okay, let's try to make something, Roma will join eventually in the way. But there is sometimes in life, there is some time in the history of movements when we need to reflect. This needs to be monthly, this needs to be weekly. We need to know where we are going. I don't want to send no people to EBS. I don't want to receive no volunteer, to off no volunteer. No, this is something for something. Yes, we are Roma, non-Roma dialogue, through voluntary service. But we are, Pirena Mensa is much more than this. It is about service. You know, Bible says, the one who wants to be the bigger, make himself the smaller. And that's such a powerful thing. This is a moral thing. You know, it's beautiful. This is the glory of moral empowerment. Is to get out on the streets and to say, I'm doing the right thing. This is not going to put money in your pocket, but it's going to give you peace. And that's the right thing to do. And whatever we want to do, if we want to bring 2 million persons to the NASA, to a rocket, to the moon, and to put a flag there and to organize 2 million conference, without the moral argument, we are lost. We are lost. And how we will get this? Well, Bono from U2 said once, God is with the poor, and is with us if we are with the poor. So I'm going to change poor for Roma. God is with Roma, and is with us if we are with the people. If we understand why we are here. And this is essential. And the line is so fine. And we should seriously examine not ourselves, but the whole movement. Guys, there is $1 billion over there, and more each year, which are related with Romani things, and they are arriving where? They are arriving to nowhere. They are arriving to nowhere. Our situation gets worse. How is that possible? I'll tell you. We learn how to talk, we learn how to walk, we learn how to organize meetings, but we were not morally empowered. We were outside empowered in many things, but not in our souls. And this is essential. So yeah, I know this is a bit of a sermon, like in church. I feel a bit like a preacher, but I think it's such an essential, such an important thing. And if Pirena Mensa work for something, it's not for the sake of Pirena Mensa, but it's for something bigger, something greater, in which I think we all agree. And that's what I wanted to say, and thank you for your time. And I don't know if we have time for questions, but you can also look me later to punch me or anything. Thank you.